Before Michael Dougherty was doing Godzilla and MonsterVerse movies, he did a 2015 Christmas movie, and I put that in air quotes because people are so adverse to this concept that there would be Christmas movies in other genre. This one is a horror fantasy film, not the best ever. It's kind of comedic at times, but I gotta be honest, I never mind rewatching this film. It's pleasant enough for me to kind of just get something from in that sort of like horror genre for Christmas time and that kind of thing. So the film is actually exceedingly simple in that it basically just kind of centers around family chaos and what life is like out there. And then everyone kind of comes together and they really just don't like each other. Like this is like the home for the holidays tensions between like this one family that looks down on this other part of the family. And then they drag along the aunt who basically is like so horrible to be around, everything like that. The kids are just awful to other kids. And there's all those sort of jokes, like everything you can imagine. This poor kid right here in the bow tie, and they literally just play up all the stereotypes in the trip. He has on like the sweater vest and a bow tie. I mean, for the love of Pete. But the kid wrote a letter to Santa. It's found by the other kids that starts reading it and picking on him and humiliating him. And reality is, it's such a heartfelt letter in the sense of wanting the best for everyone else. Like no matter what their problems, I want my mom and dad to love each other again. I want my aunt and uncle to be fine. I want so and so to be happy, whatever. And they're still so mean and cruel to him. He tears up the letter, and in doing so, it ignites a story that ties to the grandma who barely speaks English, and it ends up with this creature that shows up, and we all know it's Krampus because of the name of the movie, right? Based on the ancient legend, that kind of thing. So, what works in the film is when they don't show a lot. What works in the film is when it's eerie and creepy and things are happening and people are getting drug under a car or things are happening. What does not work is when they show you things, like when they actually show you how little money or how bad their special. See how great this looks. Like moments like that are fine. The eeriness of everything that's happening inside the house work out great. What does not work out is when they start. There's the grandma doing the Krampus, the bell. What does not work out well is when they start showing you everything, right? And then it becomes very comedic. Like the trailer actually sets up a very intense like horror movie for the most part, without the comedic elements. And I have to admit that's why I didn't see this movie in the theaters. I thought it was just a hardcore horror movie, and I didn't see it until much much later. Once it turns comedic and you see the bad special effects, the bad makeup, you have the silly gift elf things coming to life and attacking everyone and all of that. The jokes and stuff sort of just really just go really off the chain. It just becomes absolutely silly and stupid, to be honest, right? I think one of them's a cookie, the attack of the cookie in the kitchen, just like, oh. So this is the problem, right? It can be an entertaining thing. I can take it for what it is. Like it has horror elements that I like. It has fantasy elements that I like. It's handling mythology that I like. It's dealing with the family getting over all their issues, and I like. What I don't like is the execution of the comedic elements and the silliness and all of that. I just, ugh. But I will say, every time I watch it, I know there's a twist coming. I know it has a place of where it sort of ends, and we're kind of left with like a little moment of some heartwarming stuff near at the end. I like it. I see how stupid it just looks. The special effects are terrible. Because at the end they all realize it actually happened. Right. So the premise of the story goes along. All this stuff's happening. They're getting killed off one by one, these horrible ways, blah, blah, blah. And then when they wake up, it's all been a dream. At least that's what they think. And then they gradually get their memories back. I think it is horrible exposition at the end of the film. Like there's nothing there to help us know what's real or not real. It's like, oh, he has a bell, so it must have happened. Like it just falls really, really flat and doesn't get to it doesn't get to really be good, and that's the problem. On the high end, this is a 2.5 star movie out of five. I'm very lenient with that because I think there are so many things that were done well. Michael Dougherty does show he can pull off that ambiance and things like that. But after this, he ended up doing an X-Men movie, kind of like he worked on X-Men Apocalypse a little bit before he got the King of the Monsters project. I don't think he's actually directing. I think he's only doing like additional writing and stuff on the other Godzilla films. I don't know what actually he is doing right now that he has like total control over. So I don't know if maybe the Apocalypse things was so bad he's kind of out of the club for the moment, but sort of like that. You know, he would work well on like a PG-13 Blumhouse horror movie. Like we know we have to make it safe for kids, but we want horror and ambiance and all that kind of stuff. I think he would do fine for that kind of place. I don't know where he lands in that, but that's my take on it. So, yeah, horror genre. Christmas can be horror genre. Like it's okay to have different genres. Being a Christmas movie doesn't mean it has to be that pure only. There can be others. This would be one of them. So, love your thoughts. Thanks for watching, everybody. I am Pops.